Boy, oh boy, oh boy, welcome to the Good Times of Killing Us podcast. It's your boy David, and I'm here with K-Town.
K-Town.
And Mark.
Yo, 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 we're back.
And today we have a very special guest. We've got Kyle V. Let's work with that.
Uncle Kyle V.
Uncle Kyle. Alrighty, guys, so today we are talking about the Flat Earth Society.
We're talking about true fucking science today.
Yeah, we're blowing y'all's minds. All that shit you learned in school, it's all fake. It's all bullshit. Everything. Your life is a lie.
It's time to red pill you all.
Yeah, you've been in the fucking Matrix. We're Morpheus, and we have two choices in our hands. And today, you get to pick.
Well, you don't get to pick because the Earth is definitely flat, guys.
Yeah.
First, let's get that. All right, so let's get right into it, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so basically the Flat Earth theory is the granddaddy of all conspiracy theories. Like, most people that got into Flat Earth started out with other stuff, such as the 9/11 hoax thing, which, real quick, you want to talk about that real quick? What are y'all's thoughts on like believable conspiracy theories?
That's
because
I mean,
y'all doing with fire right
go
now.
ahead, Kyle.
We'll keep it quick, but
just like most of that, like fiction, there's a grain of truth in there. I mean, 9/11 was sketch.
Mm-hmm.
There was sketchy
There's
things
a lot
about
of-
it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, a plane crashed into a building.
So, I
Shit
mean,
fucking-
real people died, and it had
Real people died.
real world consequences that we are still feeling fucking almost 20 years later.
yeah, whatever its roots were. Like, my whole thing about conspiracy, like a conspiracy theory like that, is I've seen those videos and it's believable, but then I can't spend my life obsessing over it. That's what conspiracy people do, though. They spend.
Yeah, the thing about conspiracies is that there's definitely not everything that we're told as the public is the truth.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm-
And that's
the
a
whole
major
truth.
That's a major key of this whole thing. But they believe 9/11 was an inside. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. They start out with things like believing 9/11 was a conspiracy job. They believe in the Illuminati, maybe the fake moon landing, or the potentially fake moon landing, and even some darker stuff such as the Sandy Hook massacre, having crisis actors, stuff like that.
Ooh,
But
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate, that's a big one.
Pizzagate, good God.
I mean, you name it. There's usually like those are all like the gateway drugs to this giant one that is flat Earth theory.
Yeah.
So, hold on, real quick. Do you think they're the gateway, or this is the gateway to that shit?
I think this is the
No.
gateway. To
I think
that.
this is the gateway. I think
Because
this is
all
what
your-
you jump on, and then that leads you. Because I mean, this is like
It's simple. The Earth is
it's
flat.
simple, and it's not like, yeah, these people are goofy, but I feel like most people start with this and then go into like anti-vax and
I think-
like other shit.
Well, I think it depends on where you come from. Like, because I mean, a lot of people hit this during like a midlife crisis or after traumatic events. Like in some of the videos we watch, they feel like they've never fit in society's mold. So I think some of the older members, they started out with conspiracy theories. One thing led to another.
Exactly. I think so. What it is just that I think it's a lot of people. For sure, there's definitely some people in that other end that like kind of like came to flat Earth and was like, okay, well, all this other shit. But I think a lot of people kind of have been on this wave of conspiracy theories. Like, okay, they've been lying to us here, they've been lying to us there. All of this is a lie, and then they're like, oh, because the Earth is flat. That's like the granddaddy of it, and the big part of the flat Earth thing too is that there's this whole conspiracy theorist like community behind it. It's more than just that the flat Earth conspiracy thing, but it's like okay, we found each other, believers.
Yeah, when you meet up at a flat Earth party or convention, you're not just like, yeah, the Earth's flat, right? Yeah. You're going to be like, but also 9/11. Let's talk about the 9/11 stuff. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the moon landing. But yeah, to K-Town's point, the biggest demographic of them are actually 18 to 24-year-olds. In fact, there was a survey that was done where they they asked like a ton of people in that specific demographic, 18 to 24-year-olds, and 4% of them said they straight up believed in the flat Earth. So I think those people, you're right, they start out with this because
That's what I was saying. Because it's
The
relevant.
younger.
It's relevant.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
because at the end of the day, as much as like this leads into like more problematic shit, like this is just like this really isn't causing any like shootings or like people not medicating their children.
Oh, we'll get
or stuff like that.
We'll
you know
get
what I
back
mean?
to how dangerous this is.
yeah,
It
that's
can-
that'll be our end.
It
game,
leads
yeah.
to it, but it doesn't. It's not a direct cause like Pizzagate or some shit like that.
Well, I mean, overall, these people
I do
represent
not know what Pizzagate is.
These people represent an
We'll have to
estimated.
get into that. We'll have to get into that at another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, look it up.
Oh, all right.
It's a wild one.
So these people represent an estimated 6.5 million people in the United States, which comparatively is a very small number. but that's a lot of people. That's still a lot of
That's a
fucking
scary
people.
number.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
That's more money. Like that's $1 for more than what all of us will make in our lifetime.
I mean, how many people do you think are in, like, I don't know, ISIS or Al Qaeda or some shit? You know,
That's
like,
like-
can we compare that?
Is that our whole state? More?
no.
don't know.
Norfolk's got like a 10 mil pop.
Yeah, we got
Damn.
Yeah, because of
It's
the
a-
Navy and
Your
everything.
mom
That's
nailed
true,
it
true.
when she said we're what is
Fake
it?
small city.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
fake big
Yeah.
city.
We're a fake big city. 'Cause
Yeah.
we got the people.
Yeah.
We're still not a big city.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the core beliefs of the flat Earth community. They believe that instead of the Earth being a spherical globe, the Earth is a flat disk. With the North Pole located in the center, while the whole of Antarctica, or I guess whatever you would really call it in the situation, is just a giant rim on the edges. So, like, at the edge of the Earth is just this giant ice sheet, and if you go too far, you'll fall the fuck off.
Well,
Alright.
you can't. You can't
So-
because
yeah,
The
because
government.
If there's
Antarctica-
no space, where do you go?
Well, even before space, you can never really prove this theory because the main belief of it is that this ice wall, this Antarctica ice wall, that the government will not let you. Which is true. There are sanctions on Antarctica and where you can go in Antarctica.
Yeah, we went into a little dive on that. And for those of those of you who don't know, there's what is it like the Treaty of Antarctica or something
Yeah, it's like
that?
40 countries.
Yeah, who all have like a flag and they run a certain part of Antarctica.
Basically, you have to be a scientist or in the military to go to Antarctica.
Or Metallica. Metallica played in Antarctica.
Yeah, or Metallica.
A really bad show, by the way.
Yeah.
Shit was garbage.
Wait, modern Metallica played a bad show?
Saint Anger! Yo, we're gonna play Saint Anger 10 times!
Yeah, you think, like, we were talking the other day, like, do you think Metallica played new songs that they're promoting their record, their new record
Do you
to,
think
like, 30
any of those
scientists?
scientists really were Metallica fans, or they were just stoked there was something to look at besides the fucking snow?
Just
penguins
ice.
You know,
and
they
shit,
were hyped
yeah.
to, you know they were hyped to see something other than
They're like,
Yeah.
hell
I
yeah.
thought
They'd
it was-
take it, they'd take it.
Dude,
anything.
you'd have got that very same energy if Celine Dion performed that day.
Yeah, no, you're right. No matter who it was.
Actually, probably more stoked.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I saw that movie, the iceberg took it out. That's what I'm studying.
So, basically, if you're trying to get an idea for what these people think the Earth looks like, they believe that the continents are organized in the shape of the UN insignia, which they believe is part of the conspiracy. So it's kind of like a hidden in plain sight type of thing. The UN just has this insignia that represents the real Earth, and we're looking at that. Well, not every day. Not every day you look at the UN symbol, but it's right there. It's this big organization, and that's it. They think that they're just kind of taunting us.
Yeah, they they drew a flat picture of the globe to make it fit into a flat image. They must be lying about something.
Yeah. In addition to that, they think the stars are just lights in the sky.
Oh,
They're
yeah, just lights.
They're just lights.
You know.
and
that we made?
well, that God made,
The
but we'll get
creator.
in the creator.
So basically,
Yeah.
basically, we're the Truman Show.
So they do. Oh.
Yeah,
We're
Yeah,
gonna get into that a little bit, yeah.
The terrarium, the globe, the dome, all that. We're the Truman
And
Show.
Once again, this isn't. They all have a bunch of kind of like weird different beliefs. But this seems to be like
the majority.
the main one.
Yeah, let's mention that real quick. There are a lot of other ideas of what the Earth is. Like some of them think it's like a donut or like a Pac-Man. There's all kinds of different ideas.
This is the pepperoni pizza of it.
Yeah, this is the most popular one and the oldest one. Gravity is not real. It's just in your imagination. So the way that they explain that we're always kind of grounded is that the world is not actually spinning, rather it's just constantly elevating. This big flat disk is constantly just moving up into space at a rate of
9.6 kilometers per hour.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
kilometers per hour, which
Because even in fake science, they still got to use the metric system.
Yeah.
yeah, and they really got the 9.6. Like it really matters. Like how did they
Someone did
realize
some
it?
hardcore number crunching. They did the calculations.
They must have had a real experiment to figure that out with their own factors to somehow get to that weird point.
Yeah, probably our boy Mad Mike.
True. Heavy hitter. So, another thing is that while traditional science says that the sun is approximately 432 miles in diameter, flat earthers believe it's only 3,000 miles in diameter, and they also said it's only 3,000 miles away.
Oh,
Right?
432,000 miles.
432,000 miles. Sorry. So that's like less than a percent of the size
Yeah,
of how it's like way less of a percent. the size of the actual sun. So, which means that the sun isn't as powerful. It's not as bright. It's
And that's
not
why it can be closer.
exactly. It can be closer because it's not as strong. And also, that's how they explain how the days work. Basically,
It's kind of like the Earth is like, say, like a sheet of paper, and you're holding a flashlight above it, and then you're rotating that flashlight in a clockwise or counterclockwise.
yeah,
Whatever.
this matters. Yes.
I'm not really sure, but you're moving it in a circular motion above it, and that's how the sun rotates in the sky.
We
changes
get like
every
night
season.
and day.
And it's a very specific. It's either like a really weak flashlight or it's a very specific one, because you'd think that if something as powerful as the sun, if it was shining on a flat disk, it's going to light up the whole thing no matter what. But the sun is just weak enough that for some reason part of it isn't lit.
It's feast or famine, baby.
Yes.
Somebody with a small penis probably came up with this theory, and they're like,
What?
"No, hear me out.
Okay.
They're like, if my penis is small and it's still important, maybe the sun's small too. Like they just have some deep seated fucking shit about their small dick, and they're just like, yeah, the sun's small actually too,
Look at it.
but it's still important.
You're not my boss. You're not my
You're not God.
All you,
If I'm small, you think you
things
say
are
it,
important.
you say exactly. Yeah. Imagine yelling that out loud. Small things are important.
Hashtag small lives matter.
Oh no, dude. Oh no.
Cut all of this.
All right. Oh, and the way that the seasons work, or that kind of spinning sun is getting either closer or farther from the beginning. So when it's closer to the North Pole, that means you've got longer days. It's hotter because the sun is more direct. Whereas when it's on the outskirts, that's how that it's colder. That's where it'd be in the winter time.
Yeah, so basically it spins either in a tighter circle, and that circle gets
Yeah.
looser and looser and looser as the year goes on, and that's kind of how we have season changes.
Exactly. So you might be asking, what leads someone to feel like this? But you have to really look into the culture and realize that this whole thing, just like all conspiracy theories, is fundamentally based in a distrust of authority. Because they see all these other conspiracy theories, or maybe they just look at a general just distrust in the government or media, which I can understand to a degree. The government definitely
Yeah.
covers up a lot of stuff. The media
For sure.
definitely has its biases.
Not everything you hear, that the general public hears, is true, and there are things we've been lied to for sure. On
Oh
things,
yeah, we definitely believe some bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is when you do a lot of deep digging, you'll find, oh, this is actually what this is, or this is the more corrupt side of something. And I guess what must happen with the flat earthers is they look at, oh, that's a lie, that's an exaggeration, that's fake. You just say, you know what? What's keeping them from lying about the whole fucking thing,
This is
about the
all a lie.
shape of the planet, right? So the way that they kind of explain some of the more empirical pieces of evidence, such as pictures or astronauts, well, those pictures are either done with a wide-angle lens or they're just Photoshop. It's all fake, which can kind of make sense to a degree, because really you can make anything in Photoshop.
True. All the curvature of the Earth is basically just a fisheye lens.
Yeah, that's what a lot of them believe. No, it's a fisheye lens, dummy.
That's why it looks rounded.
Yeah, and the motherfuckers that take those pictures, those astronauts, they're just actors. Oh, and satellites are fake. Satellites aren't real.
Yeah, no, do not exist.
what about
Stupid.
What about GPS?
Oh, dude,
We got that's a tough one.
They're in on it.
The
All of the
government-
How
GPS.
do I get to where I'm going?
I mean, it's still the same streets and shit, but it's just on a bigger scale,
So-
airplane GPS and stuff. They have to be, those GPS trackers are hired
I think
G-men.
I think the way that maybe they'd explain that is that it's all converted, whereas we think that
Don't make me sort out their bullshit.
whereas they think that if you get directions,
Hey, I'm flying blind in this shit. So
they're whoever
I got
controls
questions.
whoever controls Google has just I guess formatted their system so that if you zoom out far enough, it'll look like it's actually a globe. I guess there's just a lot of converting, and it's really tricky when you start talking about planes.
So how do they explain Google Maps? If
Oh,
satellites
they're
if
in
satellites
on it,
aren't
bro.
if satellites aren't real, how the fuck did they get those
bro,
pictures?
that's from God, bro.
Hmm.
God gave us GPS. What do you think the G stands for?
God programmed society.
Some random dude's gonna stumble across this and he's gonna be like, "Oh my god, God is Google."
Probably, dude. Eventually, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right, I mean, that's
everything.
not that far off. That's probably the more realistic thing.
Yeah, they're making. I mean, they're making AI. That's going to give birth to a new breed of superhumans.
So did we talk about? We haven't talked about
Oh my
like
god.
like suppose the world is flat. Who gives a shit? Do you
Oh,
get?
yeah,
does
no,
this
I'm
like
gonna-
change it?
I'm
I
still
still have to
gonna-
Yeah.
work on Monday.
I'm still gonna go to work and drink in the cooler.
You know,
It doesn't matter.
the world could be flat right fucking now.
Every once in a while, you would just say, like, "Remember when we thought the Earth was round?" Damn, yeah.
Yeah, that shit was
I'm
crazy.
still filling up my fucking Hummer. I'm still drinking Budweiser, and I'm still beating my fucking girlfriend when I get home tonight. Either fucking way, okay?
All the non anyone that's not from Virginia is just like those Virginia boys. Really,
They're some wild boys.
that's how they do it.
I'm still gonna do a strong cough when I litter out my window.
Yeah, the world, be it flat or circular, will keep moving. You know, it doesn't make a fucking difference.
Yeah, that sun. We're either spinning or that sun's spinning. Either way, we still here, baby.
It doesn't matter. I still got to work Monday.
Yeah, and so basically these people believe that NASA was created only to cover up the discoveries of flat Earth because it would have shocked people too much to find out the world was a circle. So we're saying we don't give a shit, but they think that like it would have blown people's minds because their whole idea is that the reason that we're being lied to, the reason that we're told that the Earth is a globe and that we're in space is to make us feel insignificant, like we're just a grain of sand in the ocean of the universe, and it makes us feel not important, whereas if you have a flat Earth, you can feel much more significant because this is it. This
Yeah,
is
it's
We
just
all
us,
want-
baby.
it's us and then heaven and hell, probably. You know, so they want to feel important, and that's why they think that they're lying to us. They think it makes us easier to control. And you might be asking, who are they? Who are these people? Some flat earthers will tell you, your boy Satan himself,
The devil.
the devil,
devil.
is behind all these government cover-ups, conspiracies. We don't mean like Satan is chilling here. We mean like whoever's in charge, the Elon Musk. They're all
We don't mean Satan like you
Maybe, I guess, yeah. Maybe, actually. But, like, Elon Musk and all the other powerful people, they're just, Satan's in their ear, like, psst, 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 tell them this, keep them under control.
Yeah, they're
Keep the people.
interdimensional vampire demons. I'm sorry, I'm just on some out
Yes.
shit right now.
But basically,
Goddamn demons!
but what they call this is they call this big globe. Whoever these kind of shadow people are, these influencers, these controllers of the world, they're all part of big globe. Kind of like how you would say like big oil or big pharma,
Tobacco.
big tobacco.
Fucking globe tards.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. We're all globe tards, globe cucks.
Globe Cucks is my favorite, actually.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder. Well, globe tard. I just hate any tard stuff. It's so like
If I became
come
a flat earther, I'd call everyone that wasn't. I'd be like, all those globe cucks.
on. Whatever, globe cucks.
Yeah.
Look at all these.
Yeah, have your girlfriend get fucked by a globe while you watch.
And feel completely, like, justified. Like, a bunch of fucking globe cucks.
Thank God for the globe.
I'd feel so righteous.
So you may be wondering why are they talking about Satan? Where did Satan come from in all this? But you have to understand that even from the get-go and even still today, the Flat Earth Society is deeply rooted in Christian faith. Not every Flat Earther is a Christian, but it is a big part of for many of them. And when we're going to talk about it later, even from the very beginning of this theory, when it first started, it was started to justify Christian theological cosmology. So kind of dealing with this Christian faith, I mean, a lot of these people, they want to believe that we are important. They want to fulfill something in their lives. And a thing that I can understand is that they look at the fundamental nature of people in power, the people that are allowing so much inequality, all this war and famine and injustice, all the pain that's in the world that's caused by human beings. They're frustrated with that. They want to believe in something else. They believe that all those people, if they would allow these things to happen, they're evil, and that's why they're lying to us. And that's the thing, for many of these flat earthers, this gives them a sense of purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not just some insignificant blip, you know, in the cosmos or in the non-existent cosmos.
You are important. You're part of, for many
need-
people, God's flat
Yeah.
earth.
Your existence means something. There's only us.
It's still weird because you're still a grain of sand in the world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you're a much
yeah.
bigger grain of sand. Like
You're just not a grain of sand in a grain of sand. You're just a grain of sand.
But you know,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like I would like the feeling of being like a grain of sand. Like That's cool. I love that anonymity.
Yeah, I dig it, yeah.
yeah. But I guess they have an opposite reaction.
I don't want the
It's like,
pressure of feeling like the most important.
Significant.
I mean, I know it's weird, and I think that's one part of it I can understand. Is a lot of these people, they're just looking for answers. They want to feel important. They want to. I mean, it's similar to people that are very religious. If you are very Christian in general, it's because you might think that human beings are this kind of cosmic. We're made in the model of God and all that type of stuff. It makes your life seem a lot more important, so you don't sink into the emptiness of the world.
The abyss.
Yes. So let's talk about a couple of our boys, our heavy hitters here.
Heavy hitters, yeah. Some of the big boys of the flat Earth movement.
The K-pop of the flat Earth.
So, one of the biggest dudes who's got a weird jaw. I put that note in there.
That's a real note, guys.
He's Rob Davidson. He's a big flat Earth conference organizer and advocate. And so this guy actually he looks kind of weird, but he sounds very smart. But he's just saying dumb shit. I mean, he's saying all this bullshit, but he seems like he is compelling. When he talks, you can hear it behind him. Like he's really believing this. He believes in all these ideas. This idea of being
sincerely
important.
believes it, and Robbie, he's the one who puts on or at least hosts the conventions, the 2 conventions that have happened so far. So he's like one of the main guys. He's like one of the heavy hitters.
Yeah, he's like the Rob Schneider of an Adam Sandler movie.
There you go.
He's like the Adam Sandler of an Adam Sandler movie.
No, he's Rob Schneider.
Actually, no, Adam
Sandler's Mark Sargent.
Yeah, Mark Sargent. This is like a kind of a bigger dude. Again, I put kind of
Rob
weird.
is Rob Schneider. Get that straight.
So Mark Sargent is another big conference speaker and advocate, and he's in like every documentary you look up. Any documentary you find, you're going to find information from him. And he straight up believes, he's quoted as saying that the Earth is just a stage, or the world is just a stage, and basically we're just living in what you could kind of compare to the Truman Show. He really believes that there is just a big dome with God kind of just looking over the whole thing.
My boy Mark is the one fucking.
Mark Sargent is more of like the
hype man.
He's the face.
Yeah, he's kind of like the face. He's the what did he say? He was like if Flat Earth Society or Flat Earth Movement was like a college, he was like the
Van Wilder.
He said he would be like the recruiter.
I think it's more like a mascot because he's got so much energy, dude. In that one documentary, when they prove, we'll talk about it later, but that experiment when they prove that you put a boat out and it eventually disappears over the horizon, he was like, he just yelled. She was like, "Do you believe this?" And he was just like, "No." And he was like, "I don't believe it. Does anyone believe it?" He starts yelling. He's like, "Look at me." He's a real doofus.
He appreciated the effort, though.
Yeah, he did appreciate it. He was very...
And the energy, he said.
But we gotta talk about our favorite boy. Our favorite of the Flat Earth Society is Michael Mad Mike Hughes. So Mad Mike was a limo driver that taught himself rocket science like the fucking kids in October Sky, and he shot himself into the sky twice in a homemade rocket. His whole idea is that he thinks if he goes high enough, he'll be able to...
What a wild boy.
Snap a picture? What was it?
So your boy...
You explain it the best, Mark. Please.
So your boy, what he basically wanted to do... I mean, this is not to be, like, shunned on. Like, he built a rocket...
No, it totally should be shunned on. He could have died.
Okay, well, it's impressive. It is impressive.
Yeah, this is fucking impressive. He built a rocket out of spare parts. He taught himself rocket science to the extent, at least, that he shot himself out of a homemade rocket.
He went pretty high. I mean, he didn't go to space. But
he didn't make it all the way to the space, guys, but he went pretty fucking high. The plan was to go pretty fucking high in his rocket and I guess just eyeball out the window.
Even when he's shaking, like, oh!
Just check the curvature of the Earth. See, to prove that, like, I'm high enough to see now that this Earth is flat. There's no curvature. Problem solved. This wasn't even a picture. This would have just been for his eyes only. Like, I synced it.
Yeah, so again, he could go, even if he was somehow to go that high and was to see the world as a globe, he's just devoted his entire life to this. He's not coming down and going to say that. He's going to be like, no, I think it looked kind of globular, but I think it was the shaking and the fucking rocket.
He would have never admitted it. Uncle Kyle, you look like you have questions.
So if he hit the wall, it would just look like his rocket exploded.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Yeah. Can I just say something? You guys are talking about you're really impressed by this guy, like just like learning rocket science.
You built a damn rocket.
A meth head in West Virginia with no education can add a bunch of chemicals and make meth out of it. It's not impressive. Any crack kid could do that.
That's a false equivalency.
Yeah.
No, dude. No, dude.
You're close. Yeah, I mean, you have a point, but yeah, I don't think making a meth lab.
I've seen a
and
dude in
building-
middle school smoke out of a fucking apple. You tell me
thought
that's
you were
not
gonna
rocket
say-
science.
I thought you were going to say a meth head built a rocket, and
That's what I thought.
I would have
Yeah,
believed
yeah.
it. I would have believed it.
They probably they put in a fucking lift kit on their fucking Chevy. Tell me that's not the same goddamn thing.
Oh, speaking of cars, Michael Mad Mike loves fucking NASCAR.
Oh
He-
yeah, his suit is actually
rough.
like a NASCAR like suit,
Like a
and it's
jumpsuit.
and
He's got the cross seat belts in the rocket from like a NASCAR car.
Yeah,
because safety is his number one thing.
yeah.
He
so-
didn't. He said that
Yeah, he did.
as he's building a
That's a quote.
fucking rocket in the backyard.
with
OSHA.
car seat belts in it. By the way,
Yeah. Oh, and the used parachute.
Oh
That
my
holes
God.
in it.
it was riddled with holes.
There's a shot of this parachute shooting out, and it straight up like 90% ate the fuck up.
He shot himself twice though.
Yeah,
right?
twice, and well, obviously crashed both times.
Yeah,
I don't know why
definitely
they even-
crashed both times. I
It
think,
was so funny because like some videos of them pulling him out of like the crash, it's like dramatic music. And it's usually like a normal news story is like showing him being pulled out of the crash, and it's like, yeah, this guy's crazy. Like in dramatic music, like he hurt himself, and then like the Flat Earther documentary, like that they put out of it, it's like they're all like clapping and they're like, yeah, you did it, man.
Hero.
Like they're stoked. He's a hero.
But in reality, he's just some 62-year-old cat dude who loves NASCAR and is really oddly perverted. In that interview with Daniel Tosh, he keeps talking about like,
his ex-wife's tits.
yeah, he was like, "Do you miss your wife?" And he was like, well, "I wish I could touch them titties one more time."
Yeah, he was
a
talking
bit of
about
a
like
wild boy.
he liked like 8 o'clock at the bar or something because that's when all the Uggos came out and you could take one home and come back in time, fuck it, and come back in time to fuck
It.
another.
All right.
I mean, that's literally what he said. That's what he said.
Oh no.
He said you could take an Uggo home and fuck it,
So shout
and then
out to-
come back and get another one in time.
Shout out to all the ugly people out there. We love you.
And he also said his favorite thing to do with women he slept with was to sign their backs with a Sharpie while they slept, so they wouldn't find out until the next day when
Yeah,
they showered at home.
I'm not
We
gonna
all like
lie.
his style.
Jesus.
We watched like three or four videos
You
about
could
this
not
dude, and
find out.
then saw the Tosh.0 video, and like
We
I
thought this dude
like,
was legit.
This dude was fucking sick until that Tosh.0 video, and he was like, "Oof." Tosh just gave him enough rope to just hang himself too. He just let
Yeah.
him say all the weird dumb shit he wanted.
Yeah, man. That was really horrible.
Check it
So
out.
so we're having fun right now, y'all. Let's get to the FlatEarthSociety.org, which just has a bootleg. We're going to it right now. It's just a bootleg young Morpheus with he's got a fro too. I didn't even realize he's got a fro.
I would suggest you
shit.
go pull this up right now and
Yes,
check it out.
he's got two hands out, kind of like in the style of in the Matrix when Morpheus has the red pill and the blue pill.
He's sitting on the leather couch with the two pills in his hand, but this time it's a picture of a globe, and in the other hand, it's a picture of the flat Earth.
A flat Earth. So real quick, we're not,
They had to work hard to make that look like a flat Earth too. Like,
yeah. They had to actually put the stuff around the globe to make it look like it's
No,
spinning.
it was hard to make it look like to put that globe up there because they knew how fucking fake it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was probably pretty triggering.
Someone
So-
cried the entire time drawing that.
And on this website, we were so excited when we went to the forum section. We were blessed with this.
Oh.
So,
take it in.
so imagine you're just driving in your car and just every day you're like, yeah, they're lying. But like say like you're going through it and you're sad or you're hype or whatever's going on in your life, whatever your emotions are that make you want to listen to music. But you have to have this weird sciencey version. There's
Yeah.
a lot of flat Earth music
It's
out
like,
there.
It's like you are a flat earther and you don't want to hear secular
Yeah.
round earth music,
Yeah.
but that new Adele song's a bop, so
Yeah.
on a serious note, you guys should all just like tweet at Adele that they covered this song
Yeah, let
and get
her-
it copyrighted.
yeah, let
please.
Adele know this is happening.
We want to feel this for a second?
Yeah.
Let's feel it. Let's feel
I
it.
haven't heard it yet.
Just the hits, the facts. It's all right, yeah. This is like a breakup song, and you listen to this, and you're just like, yeah, fuck her, but the Earth is Earth's definitely flat.
Yeah.
Fuck, the
You're
fuck
break-
big globe is the real.
Yeah, you're breaking up with the fucking globe.
Yeah, really, this whole thing is like a giant breakup story of the globe.
There is a weird thing that they have so much like flat Earth music. Like,
Yeah, there's like a Cardi B
Dude,
version.
this is on the
or something.
same level as furries, man. Furries got all the songs, all the furry. They have a furry version of All the Single Ladies by Beyonce.
We didn't even get
Do
into that.
you think there's
Yeah.
flat Earth porn? I mean,
Oh
what that
Mark,
even mean?
can you please
Hey,
pull up?
calm down. Sit down, bro.
Because on furries, I was like, that's some exclusive furry shit. Is the furry porn?
Oh
so,
my god, yo!
how would you
All
even? What would you even do for flat Earth porn?
You ju-
Well, then your small dick guy comes out and he's like, "See, this is important."
My son's important.
My son. All right, that's a. Don't say that when you're doing. My son's important.
This is the biggest star in all the galaxy.
We're officially off the rails, boys.
He's like, "That's not very big," and then he's just like,
It's only 3,000 miles away. Okay, it doesn't have to be that hot.
"You're not my father.
You're not my father. You're not God. And
my boss.
you're not my boss.
Oh my god.
All of us.
Yeah, we're back on our bullshit.
Yeah. So.
All of you.
Shouts out to Bagel Guy.
And real quick, all this bullshit, like, speaking of the culture, a lot of these people consider themselves researchers by trade. Like, they were doing, like this big survey trying to find out, like, the demographics, and they were like, yeah, I'm a researcher.
They're
It's
all
like,
amateur researchers.
yeah. And all they do when they meet up together, they're just like, the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
The sun is here. They send out, like, blam, 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 blam. Just like,
NASA's a lie.
I don't know why you guys are joking right now, because that's basically what we fucking do now.
yeah. Yeah.
And then we sit around in a circle
regurgitating.
and just these fucking dorks.
You want to know some useless information?
Yeah.
All right, so
Subscribe to my podcast.
No one needs to know this.
all right, so where the fuck did this whole thing begin? Like, where did this all start? See, a lot of people think that we've thought that the Earth was flat for like ever. That it was only fairly recent when Christopher Columbus sailed and found out the Earth
last
was round.
couple 100 years.
That's what many of you might have actually learned in school.
That's what I was taught in middle school, man.
Same.
Yeah, but the reality is that for the vast
school.
majority of history, we've known it. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
You didn't know the Earth was round until middle school?
No, bruh. I know. I went to school in Virginia, but no, I just like middle school was when like they were talking about like Columbus was like
Okay.
blowing minds by saying like, "No, dude, the Earth is fucking round," and everyone was like, "No,
He was like, no, for real.
no."
Let me prove it.
Which we'll get into it later, but that's all bullshit. But where this essential idea, the most common, the pepperoni pizza of flat Earth theory is the idea
Yeah.
that the North Pole's in the center, Antarctica is on the sides, all the basic heavy hitter facts began from a English inventor named Samuel Robotham. I believe that's how you Robotham. I don't know.
Robotussin.
Samuel Robotussin,
RoboCop.
who published his ideas about the potential for a flat Earth in his 1865 book. So only about 150 years ago, he wrote a book called Zetetic Astrology, Earth Not a Globe, exclamation point. An experimental inquiry into the true nature of the Earth, proving it on a plane without axial or orbital motion, and the only material world in the universe, exclamation point.
That was the subtitle?
That was the entire title of the book, yes.
Oof, that took up the whole.
So again, Zetetic Astrology, Earth on a Globe, an experimental inquiry into the true nature of the Earth, proving it on a plane without axial or orbital motion, and the only material world in the universe.
That's like a Panic at the Disco song title in 2004. Jesus Christ.
So, but this really is where it all started, because a major part of his research was just to justify how the Earth is similar to the way it appears in the Bible, the natural cosmology described in the Bible, where they describe the Earth as being a flat plane. So even from the beginning, all of this science is based off of one imperative. You're trying to prove this one idea the whole time, and it all started with this guy. Although when he wrote the book, since he knew his shit was going to be kind of controversial, he used a pseudonym called Parallax.
Yeah, what the fuck did that mean?
It's like an Xbox screen name or some shit. But
Parallax.
I don't know if something man got diarrhea, man.
Your boy had been to the Matrix and back.
yes,
What if he's a fucking time traveler, guys?
I am
From the
Parallax.
future, from the future where we know it's flat.
Here to bring you Zetetic Astrology, Earth on a Globe, an experimental inquiry into the true nature of the Earth, proving it on a plane without axial orbital motion, and the only material world in the universe.
That was scary.
Nailed it.
So parallax means is a term referring to how an object might look different from another view. So his whole thing is just look at it from a different side, man. Like, what if it's actually flat, dude?
That was
Open your
fucking
mind.
poetic, dude.
Yeah, thank you. So Robotham's book still contains the most popular flat Earth theory about how the North Pole is in the center of the Earth, blah blah blah. And zetetic means to search or examine only by inquiry. So the book was called Zetetic Astrology, and he, soon after publishing the book and seeing its popularity, he started the Zetetic Society in England, which gained many new followers who read his books and continued his research after his death, including Lady Elizabeth Blount, who began the Universal Zetetic Society, so we're universal now, who also based a lot of her research on understanding how natural cosmetology related to biblical scripture.
So wait a minute. So I think we just Parallax is the dude with the small dick, then, right?
Horrible. Basically, yes.
My boy had the small
I
dick.
think we cracked it. We just cracked it.
He wrote a whole fucking book because
I
he
mean,
was.
think of it. Look how long that title of that book was.
The title's overcompensating.
I can write books. I can write books with interesting titles
That was
too.
the longest title I've ever seen.
Oh, no.
That's how long my dick is. In my dreams.
No, dude. So this, and again, this all started in England. So whenever you're thinking, oh, English accent sounds so smart, no, these dumbasses made flat Earth theory.
Hold on. One more time. One more thing. So Parallax is like looking at something from a different view.
Where are you going with this, kid?
So from a different view, his big dick's big.
If you look at it closer,
If you look at it from this angle, it's a lot bigger, bitch.
If you think about it this way and open your mind a little bit, small dicks are actually
Oh
big
my
dicks.
god, dude! I'm telling you right now. Like this, that's what it all came from, dude. Someone had a small dick, and they were just like, "Yeah, the sun's only 3,000
because you don't want to, because you don't want to feel so small. They felt so small, and they're like, you know what else is small? Our plates in the universe.
Yeah.
If you look at it from this angle, it's actually quite small.
So, and this actually spread to the United States in the early 20th century. But of course, we had to have our weird United States version, where it was picked up by the Christian Catholic Apostolic Church located in Zion, Illinois, where basically they were teaching this shit in schools. Because you had to think back then, all your schools were kind of based in religion. You had like the schoolhouse, you know. So that when it started in the United States, it was just a whole fucking town called
Yeah,
Zion
I was gonna
at
say,
that.
Let's talk about Zion, Illinois, man.
So they just preached about the flat Earth. Again, you know, it kind of went along with that kind of long history of very fundamentalist, you know, Christian stuff. So meanwhile, back in England, the successor to the Universal Zetetic Society became the Flat Earth Research Society, founded in 1956 by Samuel Shenton, although this group was a little bit less focused on researching the biblical cosmology, partially due to the fact that this guy, Samuel, was had a fellowship with the Astronomical Society and the Royal Geographic Society. So he was kind of like a more legit science guy who still believed all this bullshit. But he probably on the low, he was still kind of to justify a Christian thing. Because you got to think it's 1956, everybody's Christian.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So he was probably at university one day in the locker room.
Oh my God.
He looked around and he noticed something was a little bit smaller than everything else.
Hey, Samuel, you're not much of a shower, are you? It must be a grower. No, but
The sun's only 3,000 miles in diameter.
all right.
God.
So if you think about it, it's not that small.
And speaking of kind of small, well, I guess kind of big, the group started to gain a pretty big membership. They had about 3,000 people.
God damn.
Until the 90s, when a fire destroyed the late president's home, which destroyed archives of membership lists, a bunch of information they had, leaving the society in a state of limbo for about a decade, where like just nobody even really knew about this show, no one was doing it until 2004. So we're in MySpace, AIM days. The internet is full blown. We're talking, and that's when they finally launched the FlatEarthSociety.org. And really, the rest is history. Because you got to think, you're getting MySpace, you're getting AIM, you're getting YouTube, you're getting articles that can be published instantaneously and read by anyone across the world.
Yeah, you're connecting on another level now. You can network, and then like once YouTube, because that's like the hub of all these theories.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
YouTube is like the real move for a lot of people. Or most people, I feel like, have gotten on through YouTube. Like
Absolutely, that's where honestly we do most of our
Can
research.
yeah, well, one really funny thing to mention about fucking YouTube. Remember the ad for every single flat Earth video we clicked on?
Oh,
Every
yeah.
flat Earth video we clicked on started with this ad for fucking, what was it?
It was
like
by an astronaut, an ex-astronaut.
an ex-astronaut
talking about like
rocket theory.
and like space.
Yeah.
So they were just like, yeah, you can watch this dumb shit, but
We
you
gotta-
gotta watch this first.
Yeah, they were like, we gotta curve this shit.
You
a
gotta
little
take at
bit.
least 10 seconds of this dude talking about how dumb you.
It's kind of
fucks
like when you
are.
buy a pack of cigarettes, you got to look at the part where it's like this can cause lung cancer. All this shit. It's like you got to deal with. He's like, look, you got to deal with the facts. If you want to do this, you've got to know this is what it is, and you have to actively be like, no, but skip ad.
Exactly.
But wait
you
a
know
minute,
that's how
but
they feel. Dude.
hold
They're
on,
like,
but-
this is bullshit.
But wait a minute, Google owns YouTube, which means
Oh god.
Google is God. So God's telling you.
Oh, I got one. God works in mysterious ways.
Got him.
Whenever you don't know, you just gotta fall back on that.
Got him.
And isn't it extraordinary that like we always talk about the internet, like we have the access to the wealth of human knowledge, how smart we could be, and we literally use it to spread this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's when we get
We're-
into the fucking dangers of it, dude. The misinformation and shit.
The
Like,
danger
spreading.
zone.
yeah, dude. I mean, really, I think we were talking a little bit about this before. Like all the fake news stuff, all these this modern thinking of like everybody's lying to us. Flat Earth Society kind of is like in bed with
The
that
hub of
whole.
that.
Exactly, it's on the It's like in the center of the spectrum of all this distrust.
Yeah.
They're
You know?
lying about the flat Earth. They're lying about vaccines being good for you. They're lying about so and so plant curing cancer.
election.
They're lying about the election. They're lying about the fucking parade size.
Oh, and Susie, she was lying about my dick. Too.
yeah.
Yeah. Susie was definitely
We need to get off of
lying.
this. This is
She was lying
Oh
about
my
the size.
dude. Do we have a flat earther president?
Is it what?
Like the president
Yeah,
of
they-
like the Flat Earth Society.
Yeah, the porn star said no.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump has.
Oh, shit.
It's come out that he had a small dick,
Oh, really?
and if that dick's small,
Well, she was a pretty professional porn star.
okay.
So, you know.
All right, we'll give it to Trump. Maybe he was moderate.
Yeah.
I still think he's a G for getting his ass slapped with a magazine with his face on the cover. I still think that's some G shit.
That is so weird,
That's so
dude.
wild.
It's
That's
so
wild.
weird. All right. So, if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking, you know what, they're making fun of that stuff a lot, but a lot of that shit really actually makes sense, we're going to go ahead and debunk the whole thing. We're going to go through this real quick and explain the science against all of this fucking bullshit. So, contrary to popular belief, we've believed and we eventually proved, like humanity as a whole, that the Earth was round for a really, really long time. I mean, there are some ancient cultures, like the ancient Mesopotamians, basically, like Egyptians, who believed in the flat Earth, but those are just kind of like random offshoots, just different cultures. For the most part, we've believed this shit since the Greek philosopher Pythagoras speculated about it 26,000 years ago. So he explained it, and then shortly after, a couple hundred years later, Aristotle proved the world was flat because when you see a boat going on a horizon, you eventually see it disappear because of the curvature of the Earth.
The way it sinks down.
Exactly.
As opposed to just going out until you can see it. You see it dip down.
Exactly, but flat earthers don't believe that shit.
Pretty simple way to see.
Exactly, it's a very simple way to see, like, okay, there's obviously curvature that's going over. But flat earthers, they still don't buy that shit. In fact, in one documentary, they brought out a group of flat earthers to watch Aristotle's experiment repeated right in front of them, in which a small boat with a large striped flag would go out on an enormous lake in California. The idea being that as it goes farther and farther, the stripes would start to disappear. And the test worked, but...
Your boy Mark Sargent was like, nope.
He literally is like looking around. He's like, "All right, everybody who believes in flat Earth, raise your hand if this changed your mind." And then he looks around and everyone's like, "No!" And he looks at the group of scientists and he's like, "Point proven."
Yeah, none of them were... If you're a flat earther, you're not going to just be proved otherwise. You're set in your ways. Oh, and the way that he explained that experiment didn't work was because it was hot outside.
It was the heat.
The heat's rising off the water, bro.
Yeah, so it kind of like it creates a mirage where it looks like it's disappearing. Like the level of pure ignorance. The level of pure just putting your head in the sand and just pretending no that's behind the flat Earth theory is just spectacular.
It's classic. It's the classic plug in your ears like la 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 la.
Exactly.
La, la, la. Nope. It's flat. It's flat. It's flat. It's flat.
Yeah, if you believe the Earth is flat, you're not changing your mind. But to kind of continue that, the notion that the Earth was round, otherwise known as the heliocentric theory, was proven empirically correct when Ferdinand Magellan became the first man to circumnavigate the Earth in the 16th century. So we've known this stuff for a long time. You know, like it's been a general, idea that the Earth has been around for hundreds and thousands of years. So as we kind of wrap this up, let's talk about a couple of these famous people. There's a couple of famous people. No one that really matters anymore.
I mean, there's no Tom Cruise is in this.
Exactly.
I mean, AJ Styles is a pretty big wrestler. Right?
Who the fuck is AJ?
I didn't know who that was.
He's a decently big WWE wrestler.
Mm-hmm. We've got AJ Styles. We've got Tila Tequila.
You already know.
Speaking of MySpace,
God damn.
But yeah, whatever happened, I guess she died with MySpace. When that ship went under, she went with it.
Because then she had a shot of love with Tila Tequila.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
did anyone watch that?
Yeah, that was the thing.
There was a
That
second
big
one.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, because it was crazy because she was like, I like guys and girls. So I have a group of girls and a group of guys.
Well,
Well, that's kind of interesting, actually. That's an interesting twist. I don't want to give too much credit to Tila Tequila here, but especially because she's a flat earther. But maybe one of the most funny and well-known ones is B.O.B.
Yeah, isn't she also like a Nazi?
Yeah, she's a Nazi sympathizer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she thought Hitler did nothing wrong type.
Damn, so when she sunk under, she just...
Yeah.
No heavy losses with that one.
Yeah, but we've also got B.O.B., who's had songs about flat Earth theory. In fact, he even had beef with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I think most people need to know he did that stupid airplane song with Haley Williams.
Do you think he had a whole different take on that, like a whole different perspective when he was?
Oh my god! Because they're like singing about shooting stars
Do
and
you
shit.
think that airplanes
fuck,
in the
dude.
night sky are like shooting stars? I mean, I guess I don't.
Oh
I
my
can't
God,
really make
'cause
a
they're
connection
artificial.
Right
Fuck, dude.
They're man-made.
now. Cracked it right there, guys.
What the fuck?
Damn,
but
dude.
yeah, I'm
even
sure
think about
most
that.
people don't even know who the fuck he is except for that song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I mean, okay, so B.O.B. is a rapper, basically. He's a rapper that was kind of big in like, what, the late...
2006 to 2007. Well, no, I'm sorry. 2008 to 2009. My
You
bad.
gave him 2 years. Like, he's just as important as our boy in, what was that dude in the Evanescence song?
Oh shit! I can't remember his
The
name.
guy
It
from
just
12
wakes me up.
Stones.
Yeah, the guy from 12 Stones, where it's like, young, what was the name of that Evanescence song?
Wake me up, bro. Bring me to life.
Yeah, bring me to life. Fucking what's his name? Like that's the only thing that matters about him. That's the same thing with
me
B.O.B.
up!
Like I don't know. I think maybe when I was in high school, maybe I put on a B.O.B.
I
record.
feel like people fuck with
No,
B.O.B.
no.
I mean, some people.
Yeah,
fuck
my
with
girlfriend, and she has the worst music taste in the fucking world.
Well, actually, speaking of which, Neil deGrasse Tyson fucks with him. Neil deGrasse Tyson was like, "Look, it's all crazy, but I still like his music, though."
Like
You know,
airplanes is a bop.
yeah, he's still, yeah, but just that song.
Yo, shouts out to my girlfriend. I still love you. I know you're probably not listening, but
Not gonna
just
cut
in
that.
case you do,
You start getting personal. Like, I know we had some shit.
I love you.
But I just
and
want to say, girl.
I love your taste in music. Please don't beat me tonight.
Oh, and
Don't beat me tonight.
and also, if you didn't actually watch the documentary, you may have heard that Logan Paul, who's already, we're probably going to do a whole episode on that motherfucker. But Logan Paul was, he pretended to be a flat earther in his documentary.
It was like a Borat style.
Yeah, and he's crazy, dude. Like, basically the whole thing,
A poor ripoff of like a Borat style.
An unfunny.
Yeah.
the whole plot of his movie is that he has a friend, like one of his boys that works with him. He's probably paid to be his friend, basically, once you're at that level. And his friend starts believing in flat Earth, and he's like, no, dude. He's like, no, you gotta get the proof. So they're like, okay, let's make a documentary. Let's go out to a flat Earth convention. And Logan Paul actually did sit down with what was our boy
Robbie Davidson.
Rob Davidson, like one of the big heavy hitters of flat Earth theory.
Yeah, the Rob Schneider.
And he talked to him, but he was still kind of on the fence. But then in typical fuckboy Logan Paul fashion, he wrote it into the plot that he was going to meet some banging hot Australian girls that were
Hell
flat
yeah.
earthers. And basically he goes on a date with her, falls in love with her, and that's what makes him convert to being a
how
flat
else
earther.
would you know that he
Yo,
didn't have a small dick?
Also, You know how meta that is, because they talk about people in Australia so much in flat Earth like theory, like because people in Australia don't have water shooting up out of their fucking toilets.
Oh God! Yeah.
So like he had to get some Aussie chicks.
True. Do you think? No, they weren't real flat earthers. They were just some hired model.
No, he
probably.
just
Definitely
paid some
actresses,
girls
Yeah.
with accents. He probably met him on vacation. and was like, "Yo,
You wanna
can
be
come
in this
back?
movie?
You can come back, be in my movie. We can fuck, and I'll give you $2,200."
I'll write you. A
Yeah.
And they were like, "All right, cool."
And that's how he becomes a flat earther. But the thing is, in the documentary, this guy actually told our boy Robbie that he was a flat earther, and they got him to go on stage at a flat earth convention, and he came out as a flat earther, but fake.
He told him that he was like looking into it and thinking about being like strongly considering, being a flat earther, and that he was coming out the flat Earth closet, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And people were
Lies.
People were excited about it. People were like, "Yeah, a famous celebrity. We've got another one."
Finally, some legitimacy to our claims from Logan Paul.
Yeah. So real quick, we're just gonna do a whole episode on Logan Paul one day.
He sucks. He's an asshole.
What are some of the
He
heavy
filmed
hitter?
he filmed a dead body. He's garbage.
Yeah, in the Japanese suicide forest, and
he
like
made
basically
fun of
mocked it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. So we are at our segment. Are the good times actually killing us? This is when we talk about whether or not our topic is actually hurting the society that we live in, even after doing all the research. Now that we've done the research, we've done the deep dive, we need to figure out, are these good times actually fucking killing us? So who's going to kick it off today?
I'll kick it off.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give a hard yes on this, man. I'm gonna say these good times are killing us. This shit is dangerous, dude. Like, and with the like following that they have and it growing and shit, like so many people believing something that's so like fundamentally wrong and spreading it, and it's like, I mean, maybe this specific instance. I mean, like I said earlier, I could give a shit if the world is round, flat. I gotta feed my daughter. I gotta work in the morning. I've got different.
Doesn't
fucking
really
things.
make
It
a
doesn't
difference.
really make a difference in my personal life as far as I'm concerned. But like, what if this was something different? What if this did take hold? It's like, what if people started to shun? Just ignorance just reigns. I just kept thinking, watching some of these documentaries, I kept thinking of that movie Idiocracy, and I was like, yeah, this is how that shit starts.
I can't see it. I don't see the line. It's flat.
Why isn't toilet water shooting out at people in Australia?
It's like, dude, what? And they always, I love how they always have levels on them. Just anywhere they go.
taking levels on planes and like,
See?
Look at it.
obviously.
Look at this shit.
So I'm gonna take I'm gonna take my probably first hard stance on yes, these good times are killing us. You guys gotta cut this shit out. This is not helping.
K-Town?
All right, I'm gonna be crazy here,
Uh-oh.
and I'm gonna do a hard yes.
Okay.
No, man, this shit. I mean, it's goofy surface level. This is goofy, and like Mark was saying, even if it, let's say, God forbid, the fucking Earth is flat, we're still getting up and going to work tomorrow. It's really not. What's that really gonna fucking change? But the scary thing is when you're doing this type of disinformation, you're adding fuel to other fires. People like this reading shit like this. Okay, I can't trust the government. Okay, so I can't trust doctors. I don't need to vaccinate my kids.
Yeah.
I don't need to take my cancer medication. I don't need to.
Bro, essential oils.
Yeah, exactly. I work in the veterinarian field, and that's a real thing. Like, people like I've had people ask me if vaccines cause autism in dogs. Like, this shit is scary. This is literally, we're seeing like outbreaks of fucking diseases and shit that are been dormant for fucking years because people believe in shit like this. This is literally killing society. Not even like in just like an overall just like bringing us down as a society. This is legitimately fucking killing us. And so yeah, no, fuck this shit.
All right. I understand certain aspects where they're coming from. A general distrust in society. I think it's healthy to ask questions. It's healthy.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think it's healthy to occasionally ask questions, and I understand a lot of these people just want to feel fulfilled in their lives. A lot of these people, they had been through shit. And a lot of those documentaries are saying they had gone through a divorce, midlife crisis, traumatic event. One lady was saying that she had suffered like domestic abuse. You have this kind of life-altering thing, and you discover this, and it gives meaning to your life. but, and it's a hard, very hard but,
It's a hard butt.
this shit, like you're saying, it's making it easier for people to just not trust anything. It's where we get this fake news bullshit. Like the fact that's actually, I think that's the biggest conspiracy theory. And again, I think this kind of set the bed for the prevalence of ideas that like everything is lying to you, everyone is lying to you. You can find this idea that we live in a post-truth society, you know, where like anything that you believe, no matter how wrong it is, literally you can believe this bullshit and you can go online and find hours and hours and pages of data that support it. All based on complete bullshit. You know, and that's the reality, and that's anything that you look at in our society, anything that you believe. And basically, it's just a contrarian movement. I mean, they don't even really have science to justify this idea of the Earth going up and all that. I mean, I guess
they're
they're
working
probably
on it, bro. They're working on all of that. They're working out all the details right now. The important part is that the Earth is flat.
Yes.
Mad Mike has the rocket. Mark 3, it's going up.
He's
hitting
going
space,
64
baby.
This dude-
Mad Mark is going... Mad Mark... Oh, God. Mad Mike is going 64 miles up on this next rocket run, and he's going to really look and see.
We've got this 60-year-old
And then tell
NASCAR pervert guy fucking shooting himself in the sky. He's going to kill himself the next time he does that shit. If it even goes a little bit higher, it's
That's
gonna...
what I'm saying, man. This shit is like legitimately killing us.
Yeah, so ultimately, yeah, the good times are definitely killing us. Don't let your friends believe this
Is this
shit.
our first like hard like unanimous one?
Where we've all said that's killing us?
Yeah.
Yeah, because with furries, you said that... We all said that they weren't quite...
No.
We're kind of soft on it. You said that it was.
I was hard.
With Kanye West, we were kind of all over the place with Kanye West. Takashi Miike...
We took our own special takes on Kanye.
Yeah, New Metal and Takashi Miike, we all said that wasn't killing us. But yeah, this is definitely killing us. This is... It's funny, and we're joking, but it is really toxic to believe this stuff or to let your friends believe this.
Read an actual book.
Yeah, take it easy, guys.
Yeah. and even, you know, if you think that the Earth just being this kind of fast-moving ball in the galaxy makes you feel small... I mean, just look at the world a little bit differently. You don't have to completely change science. Just change your perception. You can still believe in God and Jesus and your religion. Whatever gets you by, you can still be happy. You don't have to go out and believe this and propagate this and make other people believe this stuff, and thus making this just, again, this post-truth society where you can justify anything. Stop supporting that bullshit. Stop letting it be. Do not let your friends believe this shit. Do not believe this shit. Do not do it.
Real talk, you can still pleasure a woman with a small penis. It's not the end of the world that you have to rewrite. It's
gonna be okay, guys.
Fact, okay, it's all right. Guys.
Just look at it differently.
Don't
They make
the globe.
toys. They make toys for that, man.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
There's other ways. You
Why-
can
why-
compensate in other ways.
why are we even doing this? But yeah, and also to our, I always like to, whenever we diss people, I always like to give them a shout out to all of our micro dick listeners.
Homies.
We still love you. We're all just joking here, and you probably dealt with a lot of shit.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm not gonna say names, but shout out to my boy with the snuggle fits. Shout out to my boys with the snuggle fits.
Oh no!
Yeah, big shout out to our boy.
All right, you hear the shout outs, guys? All right, y'all go follow us on Instagram. The handle is Good Times Killing Us. By the time that you listen to this, maybe we'll probably be on some other listening platforms besides YouTube. But definitely follow us on YouTube.
Yeah,
and
we're
Facebook
working.
page.
We're working on a SoundCloud right now. It's going slow. Sorry.
Yeah, shout out to Kyle for helping us out earlier. And as always, it is your boy Dave.
K-Town.
Mark,
And the good times are fucking killing us.
we're dead.
Yo, you know what I just fucking thought about?
Mhm.
A lot of them probably have a Gmail account. The Christians?
What?
Google is
God mail, bro.
Fuck.
Damn, that's God. You can email God, bro.
Bro, God's emailing
Bro.
you ads for small dick pills. There it goes, right back to the small dick.
Because he gave you the problem in the first place and tries to sell you the cure.
Didn't give you nothing you couldn't handle.
I got a natural penis enhancement for you there, buddy.